Welcome to Inside the Box, the channel that takes you out of the real world and puts you into the world of imagination. Every week, we dive deep into anything media. That means TV shows, movies, anime, and comic books. Whether you love Green Lantern or you're a fan of Predator, we've got you covered. This is the place to break free from the outside world and look at the world inside the box. Let's get started. I'm your host, Cody.
I'm your host, Mac.
Yeah, and today on Box Battles, what we got for the Mac?
Alright, so essentially, we're going to go with a show, an anime, or a movie. We get one of each. We get to pick one of each of something we feel like got cut off too soon, got canceled, didn't get renewed. We feel like should have had another season, another sequel, turn into a franchise. So, we got to go back to our past lives and see what we wanted to bring back from behind the curtain. What you got for us, Cody?
All right. I say we should start off with anime. There's a lot of good anime out there that deserve a second season. And I was looking, I know some people really love Dead Man Wonderland. Some people really wanted another season of No Game, No Life. But for me, there's a small show that was on Funimation before they merged with Crunchyroll called Grimgar Fantasy of Ash. This show was
that is what show.
beautiful. Its art style was so different in the way it's the story precedence is kind of just like a slice of life mixed with fantasy, where a bunch of new people get brought into a fantasy world, no memories intact. They don't know what they did before. They just know they arrived here, and they're told they need to pick a different type of class, like a thief, a paladin, priest, mage, archer, whatever they need to do to be able to survive in this world. And then that's it. They're told to go on and prosper and to kill monsters. And the story follows the 12 episodes. It follows a group of people that form a party together. They're very much amateurs. They don't have any experience hunting or killing, and they have to basically survive. Every time you kill something like a goblin or a kobold, you can take its drops and then bring it for gold. But that's it. So it's a very beautiful story that at the end it leaves so much room for a sequel that you're just like, ooh, and that's all you hear from it. The light novel, on the other hand, is still going, and so it's a beautiful story. They started doing a manga for a little bit, and I don't think it went very far either. But the light novel still goes, and I honestly I should start reading it, but I just wish I had another season of that anime.
I feel you on
That's
that.
for me.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
What about you, Mac? What you got?
Let me tell you about my anime. I did it also. No Game No Life was my honorable mention. So yeah,
Nice, nice. Yeah.
that did deserve a second season. Oh my goodness. Gosh. They say the same guy that made that. The reason why we didn't get a second season is because he made Clockwork Planet. I think it was called, like that movie, or I think it was like one
Yeah,
season
I know what you're
two. I
talking
was like,
about. It wasn't
I
it
never
wasn't as good
finished
as No
it.
Game No
Yeah,
Life.
I
Yeah.
don't really remember it, but they say that's why. But the one I want to bring back is Problem Children Are Coming from Another World, aren't they? And that one, I don't know why that one captured me so much when it first came out, but essentially the premise is these three children from different timelines of Earth or different realms of Earth or something like that. They all get picked from their essential places by this person called like the Black Rabbit. She's like the referee of the world, but they get pulled into this world called the Little Garden. And so the Little Garden is ruled by like different levels of like how strong you are. And so the reason why Black Rabbit went and got them is because each of them have a special gift that they had in their own worlds. So if I remember their name real quick, so like one of them I think is like Sakamaki Izuya, I believe that's the dude. I hope. I think. But he was just super strong. They gave him these cards and they never showed us his card, like what it was called. But the other two, they're two girls, and one was from like the Chinese timeline, and then another one I believe is from like the future or something like that. And it's like Kodo Asiko and Karusuba. I'm butchering all of these names, but yes, go look them up because I'm not saying them right probably. But one of them was like she had a totem for animals, and she like any animal she made a connection with, she has their power. And then the other girl was like, it was like control puppeteer. Whatever she said, you have to listen to her. That was like her gift. And so they all had gifts. And
Was
so go. What
was
was
the
it?
girl that had the card with the animals? Was she kind of like Vixen with her powers?
Yes and no. If she didn't make the connection with the animal, then she couldn't use their power.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it was like when Black Rabbit took them, the reason why she took them is because this clan that she cared about, or like team, group, family home, was losing and losing. And when you lose, you essentially kind of become homeless. And so she brung them to like help them. And you got to win games. So you got to go and like challenge other like clans and groups of people to like level up and stuff like that. And so that's what she got those three to do to help this other clan, because this clan was like basically filled with like orphan children already. It was crazy sad, but it was just amazingly awesome because like you meet the like other gods and like other like riddles and stories and stuff each episode. Like they have like Medusa, they have like the Pied Piper, and it's not just physical, but it's like you have to figure out the meaning of the story and what it means to these people. So if you can't beat them physically, you can usually beat them by like answering the riddle to the question, or answering like just like how like what happened to the whole story, what was the ending of the story, what was the true ending of the story and stuff like that. So it wasn't just all fighting, and it only had 10 episodes, and that's all you got. It ends with them essentially finally getting a flag for like their clan, and that's it. We don't get nothing else. I don't even know there's a manga out there for it. I tried to look for it, and it just stopped, and I'm just like, bruh. We get nothing else. Zero. Nilch. Still don't know what the dude's power is. We just know he's super strong. There's like they went against like this Medusa clan, and like she has like this laser beam that she shoots out of her mouth, and it's supposed to be like road aiming. You know what he does? He kicks it. You're not supposed to be able to do that. He just kicks it. Everybody's like, who is this guy? Nobody knows. You know what he does on the first episode when he gets there? He travels all the way to the edge of Little Garden and defeats a freaking water dragon god. Why? Just because he can. Still don't know what this guy's power is. Still don't know what it is. He's just super strong. Black Rabbit is like a referee. She's entwined with Little Garden. So like she hears everything super fast, can like track anybody down. Guess what? He's just as fast as her. Nobody knows what this dude's gift is, and you never figure it out. You just know he's stupid strong. I wish I could figure it out with another season or something, but I guess I'll never get it. But I'll stop yapping. We can go on to TV shows or movies. What you got for us, Cody?
So about your show, real quick, while you're giving us your feelings, which we appreciate, man.
Yeah.
It does. They do have a light novel, and it does go as far as 2020. But it says due to the author's health problems and disagreements with the publisher, the series is currently on indefinite hiatus. But there is.
Why'd you have to tell me that?
And
Why'd you have to tell me that?
there is a
Made me
light
sad
novel
all
that
over
you can
again.
continue. You can continue.
I can continue when it stops, and then it just stops on me again. And then I'm sad all over again and angry.
Yeah,
I'm
one you
sangry.
might have to let go. Just
It's been
melancholy.
too long.
All right, for TV shows, I got what is I found out that is actually a British show back in the 70s, had multiple seasons,
Doctor Who.
and then there was a reboot in the 90s. But this is like a separate one. I'm not even sure if it's based off of the same thing. I think it's based off like the same premise. It says it's a remake, but it didn't seem like it's very connected. But it's The Tomorrow People from 2013 2014. There's one season, and mainly Robbie Amell for this. This is when I was like, dang, Robbie Amell, I like this guy as an actor. I know some people don't. I think he's like kind of like for them, he's a bland actor, but he played well in the Scooby Doo remakes.
Yeah, I
He
did like him
did
in
Cheaper
those.
by the Dozen 2. He was in
Oh yeah, he
okay,
was
there
in
was
that.
one movie that was like he was in The Duff, which I was like, yeah, that was
Whoa, I
but
love the
right,
Duff. It's so
yeah,
good. Such a
it's
high
old.
school class.
It was
It's like the 2B. What's the 2B movie where it's like, oh, go long, Josh. And he's like, oh, nice catch, cheer. And she's like, that's not my name. Those are just like high school feel, old back. Like that
Yeah.
line got so popular with TikTok for some reason. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
that's the same feel the Duff gives me. I'm sorry to cut you off right there.
But he's also in the Code 8 series. There's two
Uh,
movies with
Wonderful.
him and his cousin Stephen Amell, which
First
is
movie
probably
was
what
better than
most
the
people
second one.
know. Yeah, Stephen Amell is his cousin that is Arrow. He plays Oliver Queen in the Arrow series.
the city.
You have failed the city. And Robbie Amell comes and plays into the CW verse where he is the first
Firestorm.
Firestorm. He plays Firestorm in that series. But basically, back to Tomorrow People, it was a good premise where people had different powers controlling different like aspects of like time. I think it was time, it was
Teleport
space,
too, right?
and teleportation. Yeah, and for me, it was just like, man, this was crazy. I remember when like the first episode, he just wakes up and he realizes he has these powers, and then he just makes his room. And he just cleans it up in like a split second. I was like, I'm trying to give me some powers like that. Um, but it then also goes into the mystery of like his dad was more complicated than he thought and had different powers like he did, and so he was able to do the same things like his dad. But then at the very end of the series, it kind of just like ends where he discovers he has another power and that most people don't have, and he uses it and he saves everybody and he goes off and like, wow, he saved the day. I can't wait till we deal with this next big issue now that he saved the day because this is still very much over looming. And then we never got anything. It just
Never got it. Cuts it
people
off.
liked it. It
Yeah,
got good
it was a good
reviews.
show.
The CW just didn't think it did well enough. This was also towards the time where they were starting the Arrowverse, and so everybody was like, "Oh, this is going really well. Why do we need Tomorrow People when we got Arrow, and then the Flash, and then
Right.
the all those CW shows that we got?" So yeah, I miss the Tomorrow People. I wish we got it.
It is a good show. The one thing that always, because I did like the Smart People, the one thing I didn't like about it was the whole like love triangle thing. Because didn't
Yeah,
Homegirl have like a boyfriend, and then like he came to the picture, she's like, "Oh, I like him." I'm like, "Oh, so you just like him because he's like main character?" But what? I was just
yeah.
like, make sure I didn't like the
There were
whole love
different.
triangle thing. Yeah, I was like, that's the one thing that like rubbed me off the wrong way when I was watching. I was just like, "Nah, bro, you need to leave her. She's just after him because he's the chosen one. Nah, bro." Nah, stop
Yeah.
fighting for her, bro. That's how I felt about
I'm
that.
just all I'm saying is if I was in a group and the chosen one walked into my group, I was like,
Yeah,
I might need to stick a little closer to him.
yeah.
I don't blame him. Yeah,
I know he
but
not dying, but
yeah. So they had powers or the three T's: telepathy, teleportation, and telekinesis. And then the fourth T was temporal manipulation, which is just time.
time.
And only two people knew how to use the fourth T, and that was Robbie Amell and then his dad. So that was like, I was like, dang, and he's the chosen one. And it's just after that, I think it was like 13 episodes, maybe 12 episodes, and just never heard about
That
him
did
again.
that did deserve it.
And I'm not going to
That did
watch the
deserve more seasons.
70s British show. Not going back and watching that. So yeah,
Maybe
I
you
wish they had
petition
another
hard
one.
enough, you can get a second season. Like Young
Yeah.
Justice got
Start the
season 3
petition
and
down
4.
below. We're going to have petitions for all these series and movies down below. Start it up. Let's get it running.
Alright, well, for mine TV show, it is a show called Almost Human. I believe it only had 13 episodes, came out like 2013. It was a sci fi, futuristic detective movie.
Oh, yeah.
It has the main character is my guy Carl Urban and Michael Earl. Michael
Butcher.
Earl, he plays a synthetic robot detective, and then Carl Urban, he's the human detective guy. Essentially, they don't clash. But they clash. Like they have two different personalities, but they make it work. And that one alone is just cool. Carl Urban is also cool. Michael Earl also cool. But yeah, like I just felt like they had so much more story to tell, so much more world building in it, and everything that had to come with it. In the sense that they always bring up the wall, like he want to go over the wall. The people can't get in the wall. The wall, the people over there is crazy. But we never get to see what's on the other side of the wall. We don't. So I don't know if the wall is like the Mexico border, if the wall's inner cities of the United States. I don't know. Nobody knows because we don't get to deep dive into it. And then like with the technology and how fast it like progresses, you have all of these like smart people and hackers and the way they kill people and the way they steal stuff and the next gen robots that could be evil. And it was just a really cool detective murder mystery type esque thing. And Carl Urban and Michael Earl, they just did they thing. They was really cool. I felt like they had great chemistry. I don't really know the reason why it got canceled. I didn't deep dive into that. Maybe they really hated each other. We just don't know it. I don't know. But I felt like it could have went on for at least 3 more seasons, in my opinion. If you like detective stuff like that and like investigation stuff and murder mysteries and stuff like that, and like overarching like storytelling and world building, especially I like sci-fi stuff too. So that was also one reason why I liked it. But they just stopped. They just stopped it. I don't know why. But yeah, that's mine. Almost Human is mine. It was great. It was amazing. Did you
That's
have you
pretty
ever
good.
watched it? Have you seen it?
I
Have you
did, I
seen
did. It honestly, it reminds me a little bit, and like I said, Carl Urban, the Butcher. He's great in almost all the things that he does. Um, I do when I wonder if they took that him because he's kind of like a rough and gruff guy in that show too. If they're like,
it?
he would do a good Benny the Butcher, and then they
Mm,
cast him in the boys from that. Um, but yeah, like you said, Michael Ealy from the show is also really good. He's like every he's the guy that you got to hide from your wife because they see him, they're like, oh my gosh, I love him and
that's it.
everything. All right, for my movie, we got honorable mentions. I got for my own mentions, I got Hancock, Chronicle,
Mm,
Wanted, Dracula Untold, The Nice
mm,
Guys, and Real Steel. All
mm,
6 of those movies deserve a sequel.
mm,
But more than anything, I believe Jumper needs a sequel.
mm.
Jumper with Kristen Haydenson, Anakin Skywalker, who's also in Taken with Michael
Yeah,
Ealy, uh, is in that.
they were like best friends in
And
that, weren't they?
yeah, they were. And man, Jumper for me was like, I don't know, as a
You know
high
they made like
schooler
a
at that
video
time,
game for it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they have like a video game for it. They started writing the second script. Like there, if you look into it, there was a lot of stuff that they started doing for the Jumpers franchise, and it did not pop off. I believe like they had like the second movie almost done and written, and I believe they had like some kind of like computer game for it or something. Because you played as the guy who knew everything that hunted them. The other
Mm.
teleporters, I believe you played as him, and it leads up to where the movie is at, I believe. But yeah, if you look into it on YouTube, there's like stuff that's like, no, this is supposed to have a second and third movie, and they just never
Dang.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I watched this movie so many times when it came out. I had it on
Yes.
DVR and I would just rewatch it every time because I was like, man. So I was like, man, I just gotta think hard enough, and I'll be able to teleport too. That would be dope because this is the concepts of like the guy of Kristen Haydenson's character having a um a room that doesn't even have doors in it and just has all of his like stash shit. Or like all he needs is pictures on the wall to be able to like teleport places. I was like, that
Yeah.
sounds so dope. David Rice was his character's name, and he was able to just like jump everywhere and leaving Samuel L. Jackson in the Grand Canyon. I was like, smart, smart. But yeah, that movie for me, that one and Chronicle. Chronicle was my very close second, where I was just like, I wish there was a second sequel. There was supposed to be recently. I think 2021 they started talking about a female led trope, like a secondary one where there's 3 females as the leads, the same way how they had for Chronicle,
Mm.
but it got buried. It never took off. And I'm like,
I honestly would
man,
have loved more if they dove into the alien aspect of Chronicles, because didn't they like wake up and then like the thing was gone?
yeah, it's gone
Yeah,
and
I would have loved
everything.
if they would have deep dive into that.
Yeah, that was also one of my first like because I didn't fully watch my Friday Night Lights growing up, but
Mm.
then I saw Chronicle. I was like, oh, Michael B. Jordan, and I saw him in like that awkward moment, and I was like, dang. I kind of like this guy's
You know,
actor, and went back and watched.
he played in a movie with
Aiden.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, the baseball movie.
The baseball one. Yeah, I
I
didn't
think
know that
it's
was
like
him in there. I was
Hardball.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, damn,
yeah.
he's been
So
in the
he
industry
plays
for a
in.
minute.
Yeah, he's been acting for a while. He's also in Sesame Street for like.
I did
I
not
saw
know
this
that.
on an interview recently when for the promo for Sinners when I was watching him and Haley Steinfeld doing their little thing. But he was in a Sesame Street one where he was like he loves oatmeal or like porridge or something like that in like a segment for that. And I was like, I didn't know. There's a lot of famous people that we know that was on Sesame Street as kids. It's like, interesting. But yeah, that's my choice. Jumper. Kristen Hazen's finally getting his flowers. He's finally coming back to Star
Yeah,
Wars. They need to legit. What they need to do is just make a Vader show because like he's getting a little older. Like he can't keep playing Anakin as it keeps
right.
going
Yeah,
because he's unless they keep de-aging him with technology, which is fine, but they should just make while he's like still good and healthy and everything a Vader show of him playing Vader because Vader has so many comic books of him doing crazy shit that everybody would just go ape shit over.
people are gonna hate what I'm about to say, but I would honestly be okay if they remake 3, 4, and 5 with is it Aaron McGregor? Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, even
Obi-Wan?
Evan, yeah,
Like use the original script, right? Use the original script, but just redo it with these actors so that we can see them actually have like more fight scenes in between them. Like even I think it's like episode 3 and Obi-Wan dies at the beginning. Bro, just that fight scene of him fighting Darth Vader, like to me I'm just like, do you know how much cooler I feel like we can make that look than it did back in the day?
or
And
you
I
mean
feel
like
like
for
Ian,
episode 4 with him versus Vader, where like he just disappears?
yeah. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
like, bro, I'm like, redo it. I'm like, we got the two guys that people love. Like everybody loves these guys now. You keep the same script, whatever. You can have the same wording, but bro, like the fight scenes you can make better, the graphics you can make better, the spaceships you can make better, the backgrounds you can make better, the lightsabers you can make look cooler, the force wielding you can make cool. Like you could just make the action scenes and the set pieces and all that look cooler, and then just have the same dialogue in there, and then see. And you already know Christian and even like they're gonna kill it when they say the dialogue, and just have like all the other recast of what you got to do. Like, but those two I feel like would kill it, and I'm just like I would love to see it redid with our technology we have now.
I think the only reason that they haven't redone it is one because diehard fans don't want to see remakes of anything Star Wars because they think it's perfect the way it is. But two, that's why they gave us in Obi-Wan, they gave us a fight between them as Vader and Obi-Wan, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't kill Anakin, I did." That whole scene. But some people I have seen in kind of like the same thought process as you have been saying, let them both do a TV show for the Clone Wars and just have them do Clone Wars. I'm like, that'd be good. They would have to
That would
DH
be
the
good.
fuck out of them,
Yeah.
but I would love it. I think they would do great. And I feel like no one, the way Christian Hazen like cares about the series is almost I put it at the level as the guy that voices the bad guy in Force Unleashed, where he does like the acting for like a lot of people, and he like
Yeah,
ends up
I know
doing
you. Yeah, because he
yeah,
had like a whole
I,
interview when he talks about like Obi Wan when he goes against Maul again. He does like, I was like,
yeah,
dude, this dude cares. He's
yeah,
studied
where
this, read it. I was like,
he's meditating, he's like frustrated. They're like, "Why do you keep making that face?" He goes, "Because he doesn't know how to use the Force the way that Jedi's use Force. He knows how to use the Force the way that Darth Vader teaches them how to use the Force." I'm like, "This guy thinks. Let him be in charge of this shit." So
he also
yeah,
plays in
jump.
Being
But
Human.
back to
Being Human is also a good show. Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go on.
yeah. Jumper's my movie. Mac, what's your movie? Oh wait. Before you start that, I'm sorry.
Sorry guys, we were yapping a little bit. Not gonna lie. You did have one of my honorable mentions is Hancock. That was like also one of mine. Another one, another one was iRobot. That was like an honorable mention. Then another honorable mention is I Am Legend. I would have loved to kind of like
Oh,
I
oh
don't know
no, but I
how
Am
they would
Legend
have did.
is
Oh,
getting a
is this
sequel.
getting one? Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I did
Michael B.
not know that.
Jordan's in it.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
he plays the boy that survives at the end. As far as I remember, it talking about it like a year or two ago is actually getting a sequel with Michael.
Isn't that is the boy not Latino? I could be completely wrong, but I swear that little boy was not African American.
You know,
Don't cancel
I
me,
don't know.
guys. I'm just saying. I swear that boy was not. I could be completely wrong, but I swear he was not African American. I could be completely wrong. I like Michael B. Jordan. Great actor, but anyways, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
on.
I'm trying to
So I had to
see
go
if
with
they
this
if
movie since you took some of mine. Good thing I wrote
yeah.
some down. Go back to my guy, Butcher, Carl Urban, almost human. This movie has become a cult classic. I literally rewatch it every year. It's called Dread.
Ooh,
Movie
yeah, that is.
was
I did have that. Like I was like looking through it and I saw that. I was like, yeah, that would be a good one.
they had for like Olivia Thirlby. She plays Judge Anderson, the one that's like on the test. But freaking Lena Headey, I think it is. She plays Mama. Man, then she plays like in Game of Thrones and 300 and all that. But those three man were wonderful. They carried it. I love Carl. Like everybody talks about Pedro Pascal and the Mandalorian. It's like how he never takes his helmet off. I'm like, Carl Urban did it first in Dread. He never takes his helmet off ever. That man has it on the entire time, and you feel everything. He puts out an awesome performance. And you haven't seen Dread, that's all I'm gonna give you. Go watch Dread. It deserved a second movie. It deserved a franchise. I'm just gonna put that out there. It has a whole comic book run and everything. I feel like Carl Urban when I came back and did more movies for it. It was phenomenal. I'm not even gonna tell you what it was about, what goes on in it. I just want you to go give this movie a chance and go watch it yourself. But before I move on to movies, honorable mention I wanted to give because this is like my top 5 movies ever. I watch it. I also watch this once a year, Speed Racer. But yes,
Speed Racer was done very well. I was honestly, I would rather have a Speed Racer 2 than a Tron sequel that they're coming with, or a Tron like
mm, most
legacy
definite,
movie. Yeah,
most
Tron
definite.
Ares. I was like, cool. Let's see how it is. But Speed Racer, I'd purchase my
Bro.
ticket now. I'd be like, all right, give it to
Yeah,
me. All right, I'm in there.
I
But
loved that movie. That movie was
that movie was
so
so
cool,
good
bro.
when we were
The
growing up.
final race, not the fight, the final lap with the soundtrack. Oh my gosh! And then like Racer X, bro, like the way they did that. Like I know that's like in the cartoon and everything like that. I haven't watched the old cartoon. I've seen like clips of it on like TikTok. And Speed Racer seems like a straight up demon, bro. Like straight demon back in the old cartoons. Like his girl, whatever, is like, we should let him win. It's like for charity. He's like, shut up, Betty, whatever her name is. I gotta win this. I was like, yo, this he don't care. He gotta win. The one I watched was Speed Racer Next Generation. That was the cartoon that I watched for it
Yeah,
and everything like
that's
that.
the reason I didn't have it on my list of honorable mentions because the cartoon for me was such a spiritual successor. I was like, this satisfied me. I had that. I was like, I have the show. The Speed Racer show was like amazing. I'm like, if I have that, I guess I don't need another Speed Racer
Nah,
movie. It'd be
I need a
nice.
Speed Racer too, man. Give me another one, man. Give me another. I need another one. If I could get 3 car movies, I love cars. It's a phenomenal trilogy. If I could get 11 Fast and Furious, if I could get one Need for Speed, I need 2 Speed Racers, bro. I need 2 Speed Racers.
Need for Speed was also a good one with
Yeah,
Aaron
it was
Paul in
good.
it. That was a good movie too.
It was
Yeah,
good.
that one.
Sorry.
Those that was good.
I know I've been ranting a lot about these coming back, but I
Yeah,
wish they'd come back,
passionate.
and
We're
they
passionate.
probably won't ever come back. And it saddens me, man. It
Probably
saddens
not.
me. But what we got next? What we got next on our schedule, Cody?
All right, next on the list, we got Inside the Box, the section where we tell you guys what's kept us out of the real world and put us in the world of Inside the Box. First, I've been on a big Green Lantern kick lately. I think it's with the new show coming up, but I went back and read Green Lantern Far Sector. Green Lantern Far Sector follows another human Lantern, which this has got like mixed reviews because it's another human Lantern. Her name is Joe Mullane. Joe stands for Sojourner. She is the star of, or she's the main character of the Absolute Verse Green
Okay.
Lantern series. But basically, this one, she grows up in Brooklyn. She sees 9/11. She joins the army, gets out of the army, becomes a cop, witnesses a guy, her partner, like doing police brutality, and then reports him. But because of the report, she gets fired because of backlash. And when that happens, a guardian from OA gives her a chance to become a lantern in a sector of the universe that doesn't even have a number. Because you know, like Green Lanterns, they usually have like you're in charge of sector two
Yeah.
four six eight, something like that. She's in what's called the far sector, which it's
It's
basically a
far away from
city,
everything.
and that's what it is. She keeps talking about it. It's a city called the City Enduring, where three different species have like basically commingled because they used to be on different planets nearby or like cohabiting, and then they got into
Mm.
wars. And but the city is mainly inhabiting or like with the peace is in peace because they took away their emotions. They have something called like the emotional block, where one of the species is basically like all digital, where they're kind of like digital species, where they're able to like do hacking for biological data, and they live almost like in a different plane from everybody else. And they are able to. It's called the emotional exploit, I think, and they are able to put away all emotions because they don't have emotions themselves. And then the other two species, one is like kind of like the dragon people, and one is the plant people. They lock their emotions away, and that has caused 500 years of peace. Which now they requested a Green Lantern to come out, and when she comes out, there's a murder for the first time in 500 years, and
Damn.
she has to kind of like figure out why this is happening. It turns out there's a drug that they're taking called damn, what's it called? Where basically the drug allows them to feel emotions, and they're like, oh, emotions are illegal, dangerous, and then it keeps going of like, but are they dangerous? There's no side effects. It just allows us to feel emotions, and then there's a whole act of them trying to like legalize the drug, and there's a bunch of corruption in it. Mainly, the story kind of like goes a little bit up and down, but for me, the reason I like it so much, one, Sojourner Mullane is
Fuck.
a baddie. God, she's so bad. But also, the way they do the constructs, that's why I like Green Lantern so much, is they have such creativity with constructs because it's based off of the user's imagination. She'll have like her hair will be down, and she's like, "All right, I gotta go and be a lantern," and a fairy will fly out of her ring and like fly around her and like kind of like do like the bibbity boppity boo, dressing her up in her like her uniform, and I'm like,
That's
"Dang,
dope.
that is dope."
Yeah.
And she'll go like do a detective scene because she used to be a police, and she'll put on like a green construct cloak of like a old detective and a
Like
detective hat.
Inspector, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, see, these are good shit. She has like a battle with a full like Zoid that she's like, oh, she basically becomes like Voltron in it. I'm like, this is good. This is like what construct should be. Her ring is different where it doesn't go off of batteries. Like it doesn't have a battery that she takes with her because she's so far away. It's rechargeable. So it's kind of like she uses it. If she uses it too much, it's not as powerful. But afterwards, it recharges on its own will. Like it recharges on her will. But from zero, it takes like 5 days for it to recharge. So there's also times in the issues where it's only 12 issues, by the way. But there's times where she has to be like just herself. She has to go in, use her experience as a police officer, use her experience as a soldier to kind of like solve the issue of that issue.
Right.
Um, but overall, I think it was good. It's the only reason I think that it gets bad rep is because it kind of like Sojourner is kind of very similar to Jessica Cruz, the other female Green Lantern human. One is the seventh Green Lantern human, and so
Yeah.
everybody's like, why don't we like Kilowog is a great Green Lantern? Why don't we see someone from his race? Why don't we see
Right.
another guy from Sinestro's race getting it? But I think
Urban
what some people,
surgeries.
yeah, Abin Sur's race. I would love a like a prequel series about Abin Sur,
Yeah.
but from what a lot of people say is because of Hal Jordan being like the best Lantern, the Guardians are like, it's hard not to choose somebody from the human race because after you see what Hal Jordan can do, man, what if another one could do it?
I mean, Hal
So I'm
Jordan
like,
did
I
go
guess,
crazy, but they're like, it was
yeah,
a parasite. They gave him an owl. They gave him.
yeah. But overall, I think it's a good series. I hope the next Human Lantern is a different Lantern of a different spectrum. I know we have Starlight, Hal Jordan's love interest. She's the Sapphire Lantern. Whenever she's like on her on her Sapphire shit, and then I know Guy Gardner became a Red Lantern for a little bit. Kyle became a White Lantern. I think John at some point became a Blue Lantern or Indigo Lantern or something.
Indigo, I
But
believe.
I would like to see a human becoming like a permanent lantern of a different spectrum, you know.
I would love to
But
see one either become fear or greed. I feel like
yeah,
Earth should have a Yellow Lantern, just in the sense we got Gotham. You telling me
yeah,
there's not another city or somebody out there that's kind of like Batman? Because like even Yellow Rings have like went to like Batman. Like you telling me you got somebody like that? Hey, how
yeah,
come a Yellow Ring ain't with the Deathstroke or something? I'm just don't you know? I think it would be really cool to see like a Yellow Lantern on Earth and just be like he has to control his city or like his block or something like that with fear, and
mm.
that's why Yellow Lantern went to him. And then I would also love to see like another Orange Lantern, just instead of just that one guy. Fuck that one
Right,
guy.
there can only be one Orange
Yeah, but
Lantern
I
because of
feel like they'd
greed.
be so far away though. Like maybe he wouldn't know or realize
They
or
would
something,
sense the disturbance in the
right?
force.
But it's like I would love to like see one because humans are greedy people, and so like we kind of
Yeah,
just have maybe it is like 12 issues or 6 issues or 8 issues, and it's just about this dude using the Orange Lantern like to break into stuff or something like that for his own
yeah.
personal wealth. I think that would just be amazing.
I would love to see like
It's
a mini issue series of the spectrums going to different humans because we have so many human characters in the DC universe. Like Lex Luthor could be the Orange Lantern,
yeah.
and Batman could be the Yellow Lantern because Batman like fear
Nah,
doesn't have
give
to
me
be a
Jason
bad
Todd.
thing.
Give me
Jason
Jason
Todd could be
Todd.
the Red Lantern. I was going to say because that boy is
Yeah.
angry. That boy is mad at the world. So that's why I was like,
But
you could use the different humans and different heroes and villains
right,
alike for different spectrum. Even as it could be like a one-off series. I think Batman
right.
at some point became Yellow Lantern, but like I would like a little series about that. And I would also like someone just added like they're a good guy, or even just a Blue Lantern, or like somebody, even a Red Lantern.
One series I really hope they do, and I really want is 12 issues, 24 issues, however many you want to make of this guy is Razor from the Green Lantern animated series. The dude becomes a
Mm,
blue and red lantern in Young Justice season 4, and he's still technically out there searching for Aya because I don't think he ever finds her. Just give me that where
mm-hmm.
he finally finds Aya, and him and Aya go live happily ever after in space somewhere.
Yeah,
Like, come on, bro.
I think they should. I think there is a couple comics that go off of Young Justice the show, but I don't think they go very far. They're more like inter-seasonal comics. They're not a continuation after season 4. But no, I agree with you. They should continue that a little bit. Honestly, a side note to that, I've been thinking all week how we have like there's a bunch of Star Wars. I've been reading a couple Star Wars comics, and there's stuff like Green Lantern, and there's stuff like Young Justice. There's even from the Amazing Spider-Man TV show. There's a prequel series that covers from when Peter gets bit to whenever the series starts. That's actually pretty good. It shows him how he becomes Spider-Man. By the way, Ben is dead before he gets bit. I know that was one of the things that you were like, we never hear about Ben. They talk about it in the comic issue. Um, they should make a Ben 10 comic that's like
Cartoon Network
based
would never do
for.
that.
You said they should never?
I don't know. I don't think they would ever do that. Like
Oh,
I
no,
would
no, no.
love one. I would love one, but Cartoon Network would never do that.
I don't
They
think
just
they
did
would.
that years ago, and I don't think they'll
It
ever do
would have been so amazing. Even like a Ben 10,000 or like just a more serious Ben 10 comic. I would pay good money to have that.
it. If not
But
even Ben
alas,
10, I would love uh how we had Ben 10,000, but then we seen Gwen, and she had like all the other magical like amulets. Not her
yeah,
going like the whole alien race thing. Maybe it's like in another realm or something like that. And she's using the amulets, and we see her side of the story.
yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah,
I think
no,
it's just
I
like
would love
it's
Cartoon
so
Network
sad.
to
Yeah,
expand on it, but Cartoon Network would never do that. We could have a whole
yeah.
Plumber Academy run issue. They'd never do
Right?
that. Cartoon Network would
Yeah,
never do
and
it.
it's sad because I know like for us, Ben 10 for me was like one of those staples growing up. Ben 10
It
Alien
still is a
Force,
staple. Ben 10
yeah,
Omniverse, people loved it.
but now the Ben 10 that's going on right now, the current one, is just like it gets it. I feel like it reduces more and more as it gets older. Like it's more for little kids, kind of like how Teen
Mm,
Titan Go was,
mm,
rather than for like teenagers how Ben 10 Ultimate Alien was. So
mm.
I'm just like, man, I miss Ben 10. I miss the good old Ben 10 days.
I feel
But
you. I feel you.
that's a rant for another day. We can do a
Yeah.
segment on that another time. Another thing I have for my comics. Damn, this is gonna be a long episode. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I'm
But
looking at the time. I'm like, woo.
I'm gonna try and run them through these a little bit quicker. I've been reading Helverine. Helverine, if y'all don't know, is right now is a five. It's going on 5 issues so far. It's going off of Dakin, Wolverine's son. If y'all didn't know, Wolverine got kids. Dakin is his only biological son, and he gets killed by Sabretooth one year on Wolverine's birthday, and he like arranges Dakin in like "Happy Birthday, Logan." It's very sadistic, very crazy. But then the Ghost Rider demon chooses him as a host with the demon Mephisto, and they make him the new Ghost Rider. But so now he's Wolverine and Ghost Rider, so he's the Helverine. He's having to go and deal with like being that. He teams up with Doctor Strange for a little bit. He goes back to the North Pole where he dies, and so far it's been good. It's kind of like it's very graphic, very demented in some spots where he like kills a guy that's like he can see the bad parts of somebody where he's like, oh, this
Mm,
guy's like human trafficking these people, and then you see that he kills them, and then it goes on. You're like, oh wow, that's really cool. He's like anti villain, like yeah, and then he's like, I hate this. It sucks. It's like this is terrible, and it pans back because he takes his victims and like makes these like effigies of like these altars, and they're like bones and entrails and all this like crazy shit just like everywhere. He like chops people and like paints with their blood. I'm just like, oh
oh
god,
my
like this is like,
gosh.
and it's because he's actually possessed by a demon and he's not in control when he does it. I'm like,
Mm,
so he goes through that. So far it's been good. 5 issues. It's going on with this current Marvel run. I'm a little bit lost in the Marvel universe right now when it comes to comics. They be doing some crazy shit right now. I'm gonna stay in
I'm trying to
DC
catch
because
up
at
to
least it's
DC, bruh. Trying
DC's
to catch
yeah
up to
chronological at least where we're on all DC all in. But that's my comic issues for this week. I went back and watched Tombstone. If y'all don't know, Tombstone is a very classic western.
Yeah,
Val
I was like,
Kilmer,
that
rest in
that is
peace.
like
Yeah, it is. It has some crazy actors.
you
Honestly,
talking about my show back in the day. Your show back
yeah.
in the day.
So it stars Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer, and also Sam Elliott's in it, and then some other people that like you don't often think about. Like I wasn't watching. I was like, oh, this is so and so because I used to watch it back in the day with my dad. But Forey J. Smith, who he's in there and he plays a small character, plays Lloyd in Yellowstone. So he comes back and he plays in a new show. He's 64 now. Billy Bob Thornton is in the beginning of the movie. He's only in it for like 5 minutes, but he plays in it. Billy Zane, who's the bad guy from Titanic, is in it. Stephen Lang, who's the Colonel in the Avatar series, is in it. Michael Rooker, who is Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy, he's in it. And Sylvester Stallone's brother, Frank Stallone, is in it. And that's not even involving like the main cast of like Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer and then. But
Mm,
I tell you what, if y'all haven't seen this movie and y'all want to see one of Val Kilmer's best performances, go watch this movie because he has so many banger one-liners where he's like, "I'll be your Huckleberry," and there's just so many issues. Just like this guy's cold, where he's just like he's laying back, he's getting his face trimmed, and this guy comes and tries to kill Kurt Russell, and he just comes up, he goes, "Well, I'll be your Huckleberry," and he's like, "Come on, let's go, let's shoot." And then there's another issue. There's a part, I forgot the guy's name. He's the guy that plays Sandman in the Spider-Man.
mm.
Sammy
I
Rami
know who you're
Malek.
talking about.
Yeah, in the Rami Malek
Yeah.
series. It's What's his name?
Yeah, I
His
do not know the
name.
actor's name. I
Thomas
definitely see his face.
Thomas Hayden Church is his name, where he plays in Spider-Man Sandman. He plays in George of the Jungle. He plays in Peanut Butter Falcon, Daddy's Home, Max. Plays in a lot of movies, but he's in there and he's talking about because Val Kilmer's playing the piano. This is my favorite scene. He's like playing the piano. He's like, "Oh, do you know like Camp Down Race Town? Like, you know these like little country jingles?" And Val Kilmer's like playing these like really fancy like stuff. He goes, "No, I don't know what that is." Val Kilmer is often drunk in these scenes because he has tuberculosis and he keeps drinking. And then a fight breaks out, and he goes out. He's like, "Freeze!" And the guy's like, "Oh, you're the drunk piano player. You couldn't shoot me if you tried." He's like, "You can't even see me. You've probably seen double by now." And Valkyrie's like, "Good thing I got two guns for both of you." I'm like, that guy is so good.
And you, music lover, you're next.
Drunk piano player. You're so drunk you can't hit nothing. In fact, you're probably seeing double.
I have two guns, one for each of you.
I love that movie. Tombstone's really good movie. Go watch it. I'm actually gonna skip one of mine. I'll save it for next week. But my anime for this week is Shangri-La Frontier. Shangri-La Frontier is honestly, for me, it's like the spiritual successor of what Sword Art Online should have been, where it basically follows this guy named Sunraku. He loves trash games. Where all the games now are in VR, the full dive VR, and he loves all these trash games that no one likes to play. And then finally, he takes a break from them and he plays a really good game called Shangri-La Frontier, where it's super expansive, has this crazy AI, and he's obviously really good because to be able to play these trash games and beat them, you have to have good control. And that's basically the precipice. He's a glass canyon the entire show. It's very comedic. You get to see a bunch of different games and you get to see a bunch of different storylines going at the very same time. And it's one of those right now. It's 2 seasons, 50 episodes. If you guys want like a good gaming show where it's not like, oh, he's reborn, he's overpowered, he's like this guy's always going to win, you go watch Shangri-La Frontier because it just has a good fantasy camaraderie action style to it. But for me, that's all I got for my inside the box. Mac, what you got today?
Before I start my inside the box, have you seen how you were talking about the westerns and stuff? Have you seen the
Mm-hmm.
new trailer for The Naked Gun?
No, I
I
haven't.
probably talked about. Oh yeah, they're just like remaking it with Liam Neeson as the main character.
Oh.
But yeah, I was just wondering if you seen it because you were talking about Tombstone. I was like, oh man, maybe.
Oh
Like
yeah, I have. I haven't seen the trailer for it, but I saw the picture of Liam Neeson doing like the splits for it,
Yeah.
and honestly, I'm gonna watch it. But Leslie Nielsen, who plays the guy from the original series, I don't know how they're going to top that because that guy had like Mr. Bean level of just non-verbal comedy. Of he was just like so funny for me back this day where he would just say something and it would be like you're like what, and then it Naked Gun for me, like those kind of movies, Mr. Bean, and what's that other movie where they're just like Weekend at Bernie's, those kind of movies for me were like so funny and like such good like comedy that I was like, man, these are like good, like I don't know, feel good movies where like kind of like Charlie
Right.
Chaplin back in the day. But I also love Liam Neeson, so I'm gonna give it a shot. But we'll see how it goes.
I feel like he would be able to pull it off just from the little scene from Ted when he goes and gets the tricks and he's like, they say it's only for kids. Then he gets it and he comes back and he's just like, puts it back. And I'm like, just that scene, I'm like, I'm going to give him a chance. I think he's going to kill this shit.
That's fair.
Been led to understand that tricks are exclusively for children. Is that correct?
I think he's got this. But yeah, I'll go through mine pretty quick because we still have news and stuff to do. So, starting with the 10th Kingdom, 2000 show, fantasy show, 6 episodes. However, 6 episodes is like an hour and a half long. So they're pretty much like mini movies. It's really, 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 really good. I liked it. I did have to watch it through with commercials, so I mean that's also saying a lot. But I would say these actors, they're known, but they're not too much known. Like I think like Diana West, she's probably the most known one. And then Kimberly Williams Paisley, she's played in a lot of like Hallmark stuff and small movie stuff. And then John Le Carre, he played in other stuff. The only thing I know him from is my show, The Librarians. That's right, he played in that. But no, like the 10th Kingdom is essentially they're in our world. Like our world is the 10th Kingdom, and the this evil queen basically like escapes from prison, turns the prince of the fourth kingdom into a dog, and like he's running around. He like hits over this mirror, and it's a portal to our world. And he finds our main character, which Kimberly Williams Paisley plays, Virginia Lewis. She's our main character, and then like essentially a lot of stuff happens. They get back into like the fantasy world, but now it's like the adventure of like her with her dad, who's played by John Lorette. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's Tony Lewis, and this is like a whole adventure of like them going through this kingdom of trying to get the mirror back, trying to save the prince, trying to stop the queen. But my favorite character through this show, his name is Wolf, is Scott Cohen. He plays Wolf, and like wolves are supposedly like bad in this because they take from like other fairy tales and stuff like this, and they're in Snow White's kingdom, and the prince who got turned into a dog is Snow White's grandson, essentially. But like wolves are supposed to be bad, and I feel like he just kills his role as like the wolf of like wanting to kill people, not trying to kill people, wanting to like kind of like bedazzle Virginia and everything like that, and want to marry her and everything like that, and trying to be a good person, but also like when there's a full moon, he goes and kills chickens and stuff. It was a good fantasy 6 episode adventure esque murder, because they do have murder in this, twisted turns and backstabbing people there. That very great. Go watch it. You can see it on Prime or Roku channel. My next thing, Fairly Legal. This had 2 seasons. First season 10 episodes. Second season 13 episodes. I like the first season better. The second season, I was kind of like, oh, I gotta finish it. I'm already here. Gotta finish. There's only 2 seasons. There's not like there's 4 more seasons after this. The main character is played by Sarah Shial. She plays Kate Reed. You might know her from Sex/Life on Netflix. She was sexy in that. Or you might know her from this new show that came out this year called Paradise. I believe she plays the therapist. You know, if you haven't, go watch Paradise. Great show. I'm just saying. Awesome show. But Fairly Legal is essentially Kate Reed. She was supposed to be like this lawyer, but then she just stopped being a lawyer. And so she owns like half of her dad's law firm, because her dad was like this really, really great lawyer. But then her stepmom also owns the other half. And so she's a mediator. So before it goes to trial and everything like that, people try to turn to her and be like, hey, try to find something that both sides can like agree on and win-win and everything like that. And so like it's an episodic TV show where like every episode's different. I don't really remember seeing an overarching episode, like overarching story. It's just kind of like everything. Well, I guess one is like there's this one dude that their dad gave like 20% of like all his assets to, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" And that was kind of like an overarching story. But essentially, every episode's kind of different. My favorite character was, of course, the black guy. He was Leonardo Prince, played by Baron Vaughn. Dude, I liked him because he was a nerd and he was getting girls, but he was also an assistant. Cool dude, cool character. I don't think he's really played in anything other than that I've seen him in. I mean, I hope I see him in stuff now. I've seen that. Moving on, though, we are going to go to The Last Breath. The Last Breath was based off of a true story. Did not know that. I was like, oh, it's on Peacock. Let me watch it at work so I don't go to sleep. Which I still did go to sleep. But it was amazingly it was good. It was way better than what I anticipated. It has Woody Harrelson there, Finn Cole, and Simu Lee. And essentially, I don't know, I can't remember if they're underwater welders or not. Essentially, they go underwater like 90 meters or some shit like that. It's very, very deep. It's very, very scary. I was like, nope, would not be me. So glad other people decided to do this. But what it is like they're in the North China Sea or something like that. They go down, they're working on it, their boat stops working. So like now like the boat's going with the ocean. So like they're like, yo, we gotta get up out of here. And so they get to the top and they think they're safe. Nope. The story that's based on is Chris Lemons. It's based off of his life, his umbilical. That's what they call it when like the thing that's like all the pipes and holes and stuff that's strapped to their suits, it gets like ripped apart. So like he gets actually pulled away from like the thing that they're working on, and seemingly like before they leave, he's like, I need you to try and get back to the top. If you don't get back to the top, I can't save you. And so like he only has 10 minutes of oxygen. That's his emergency oxygen tank. He only has 10 minutes. So he gets pulled away and he has to make it back and climb up back on top. And they have weighted suits and everything. So he has to climb back with all the stuff on there and get to the top. And he gets to the top and he like hooks himself in. It's like everybody else is trying to figure out a way to like make the motors work on the boat so they can go back to and everything like that. It was crazy. All in all, he survives. But they don't know how because he went without oxygen for 29 minutes. His brain did not have oxygen for 29 minutes. And nobody to this day still knows how he survived. They say it's because the temperature and like all the water and all that. I think it's a miracle. I don't really know. Nobody knows. But what's crazy part is 3 weeks later, he goes back down and finishes the job. I was like, bro, you're wilding. I was like, Dutch, you're wilding. You're wilding, bro. You're wilding. I was like, you're crazy.
Lord gave him a second chance, and he said,
I was like,
I appreciate that. I'm going to keep
I was
going.
like, bro. I believe the real guy is Scottish, too, so I do want to say that. I was like, cool. You don't see a lot of Scottish people except for on Power Rangers RPM. And like, she's like, you're the Blue Ranger. What are you? And he's like, I'm Scottish. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up on TikTok. It's crazy. I love that line. Moving on. Next thing is I'm gonna hit you with Companion. It came out, I believe, late last year. It has Jack Quinn in it, and Sophia Thatcher. And basically, it was good until it kind of hit what every other AI robot thing kind of hits, like her freeing herself and then killing everybody. Essentially,
Oh, yeah, that was the one that was in the movies coming out.
Yeah.
I keep seeing it on HBO Max.
yeah, it was good. Like the way I feel like the trailers gave it away because you're like, she's definitely a robot. I know that. If they didn't say that, because the way they do it is like, oh, you think she's a real person and about like this, and then he's like, Iris shut down, and she shuts down, and she's white, and you're like, oh man, that's crazy. But you know she's a robot from the trailer, so it doesn't really hit you like that. Shit, I showed in the trailer, so I was like, oh man, if I did not see that, like they should have just played it off as like Homegirl just went crazy, and started killing everybody. Because I was just like, oh man, it's so cool how they did that. But I know she's a robot. She kind of goes crazy, kills everybody from the trailer. They both act very well in it, but I was just like, gotta know what happens. That's why I'm kind of looking forward to Meg. You ain't seen Meg, go look at the trailer. It looks really, really cool. I'm sorry, I had to pipe that in there. And then my next thing, I'm gonna go to Cody's favorite streaming, Apple TV, Your Friends and Neighbor. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of actually known actors in this, from Olivia Munn and Amanda Pest and John Hamm. John Hamm. He's the main character. And I loved it. I was like, this is 95% so good. I was like, he's acting it so well. Because it's essentially, he loses his job over nothing. He loses his job because his boss is a douchebag. He was really good at his job. His wife cheated on him. He lost his kids. He's paying for the house. He still has to see the dude that took his wife from him. Everything horrible going for him. But to like keep like his life up, kind of like keep paying for the house, make sure like his kids and stuff don't worry, he starts to steal from his neighbors around him. Because he's like, yo, I used to be one of these people. I ain't really worried about security and stuff like that. Because you make all this money, so you don't have to worry about that. But he starts stealing from them and everything like that. And I liked it. I really, really liked it up to the point of like the person he's selling it to kind of like threatens him. And I'm like, I feel like we didn't need that. Like that comes from like every other show. And it's just where like everything's already messed up for this guy. And you see him like freaking out, or you either see him get better at stealing, whatever. I just kind of want to see this guy's story. I didn't want to have like another thing looming over, like, oh, if you don't do this, I'm gonna break your legs type thing. And I'm like, I feel like we didn't need that extra aspect in there because he gets a partner anyways. One of the like maids like finds him stealing something, and she's like, no, we're gonna do this better. And basically, they just start stealing more shit. It's crazy because like the maids have like a whole network of like their own of like information and everything like that. It's crazy. Go watch it on Apple TV. I think it's only like 5 episodes right now. You should go see it. Last but not least, I have been reading City Boy. It's a DC comic. It's 12 issues. I'm only like 3 issues in right now. It is a Korean main character called Cameron Kim, and it is so crazy because he had like no powers, but I believe he's homeless because his mom left him on the street. Not gonna lie, but he had like no powers, and then he's from Gotham. And there's a scientist that's like a city's alive. He's like, we just gotta like tap into it, and like he like makes this whole experiment thing or whatever, and Cameron Kim, our main character, gets caught up in the experiment, and he has the power to awaken cities and like their entities and like their living their living souls and stuff like that. And it's just crazy in the sense of like he uses it to track things down so like he can like sell it to like for recycling and like resell it to like make money and stuff. But also if he gets like a pocket knife from somebody, he can see what the city has seen that pocket knife do. So there's like a scene where like a gangster pulls out like a pocket knife on him and he's able to like take it and he's like, no, you're the real monster. And it shows you everything that dude has used that pocket knife for, who he stabbed with it, who he's threatened with it, and everything like that. It's crazy because like he sees what the city has seen. He knows like a blueprint map of what the city has like sees, and I believe he can do that with every city because he gets captured and he gets to Metropolis, and he's able to like enact that sentient soul from Metropolis city and like make a dragon out of like the concrete of that city and everything like that. And like Superman tries to stop it, and like the city just gets angrier and angrier. And Superman's like, "Yeah, I can't talk it down, kid. You're gonna have to go up there and like use your skill set and everything like that." It is so far. It's just I was wrong. It's only 6 issues, not 12. Way off. So I'm halfway through. But I think it's just kind of cool because it's like, yo, this dude's already like city level dangerous, but it's also cool to where it's like, oh, every city is like a living being and he can like tap into it and control it and talk to it and track. And like, he would be like the craziest tracker ever
I was
in
gonna say also
cities.
crazy detective. Like
Yeah, like,
that'd be a pretty
I
cool
just
like
think,
show
yeah.
concept.
And episode 3, or not episode 3, episode issue 3 ends with him going to Bloodhaven. So I think he's about to interact with like Nightwing and stuff like that in issue 4. But yes, I believe that's all I have for my news. I know I talked really fast, just kept yapping. But yeah, coming with you with news. It's mostly trailers. So if you haven't seen these trailers, they're like 2 minutes, bro. Go watch them. If you're one of those guys who's like, oh, I don't want to see all the trailers. It's the first trailer. Just go watch one trailer. Go see if you like it.
I'm
I'm
usually one
bringing
of those
up
guys.
I'm bringing up a Disney original with Meg Donnelly in it. Zombies 4. Yes, there's 4 of them. I have not even seen the third one, so I should probably go watch that. I am a grown man that watches Disney. Yes, I do. Okay, they have very good musicals in there. But yes, Zombie 4 is Dawn of the Vampires. Don't really know who the bad guy is in this. It looks like they're kind of going to summer camp, which I'm kind of like, Milo and Meg, you guys are kind of getting old up there. But it's cool. It's cool. Do y'all little musicalies, Zombies 4. I'm still going to watch it, just like I watched Descendants 4. I'm not going to lie. But these songs better be bangers. But yeah, I am interested to kind of see who the villain is because they're all going like the werewolves, the zombies, the humans, the aliens. Like they're all going camp together. So I don't know who the villain's going to be in this one, or we're going to get a new monster in this one. It's going to be very interesting to see. Next, I'm going to bring up California King has Victoria Justice in it, and essentially, this is basically about two best friends going on this adventure. No, it's not. It is about two best friends, and one of them wants to get with Victoria Justice, and his other friend helps him out. How? By stealing the little brother, and they're like, I would have come to the rescue. But guess what? The little brother's really gone now, so now they have to go on this adventure and go find this little brother so that they can actually save him because they put him in danger somehow. Yeah, it's crazy. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Go look it up. It seems like it's going to be dope. It's like 2 minute trailer when you see Victoria Justice. You're not losing at all. I feel like it's going to be pretty funny. I think it's going to be amazing. Going off Wednesday, season 2 trailer dropped on Netflix. That's all I'm going to say. If you haven't seen Wednesday season 1, why are you here listening to me talk about Wednesday season 2 trailer? Go to Netflix, Watch Wednesday season 1. It's pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. If you can't say damn, Cody will edit that out. Moving
I
on.
haven't edited any of our cussing out.
Moving on to Peacock Original. My man Anthony Mackie and my girl from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I cannot remember her name. She played Rosa. Ugh, cannot remember her name. Cody, if you could look her up real quick, that would be very helpful. But Twisted Metal Season 2 trailer just dropped. Season 1, I loved it. It was phenomenal. I think it was cool. You had Mo and Joe in there, but it was voiced by somebody else. I can't remember that dude's name, but that character was amazing. It was the clown, was like the head on fire. I think season 2 is going to be even crazier. I think for you guys who love the games, you're going to get that aspect of it. I think Peacock is going to knock it out the park with Twisted Metal Season 2. I think it's going to be dope.
You're talking about Stephanie Beatrice.
Yeah, boom. Go watch season 1. It's really cool. It's really good. Storytelling's awesome. Acting's awesome. The driving's awesome. The explosions are awesome. The shooting's awesome.
Oh,
Really cool.
the new guy doing Sweet Tooth is Will Arnett. He's the guy that's in like BoJack Horseman, Lego Movie, all those. He plays like the announcer in Blades of Glory, Arrested Development.
Yeah, that guy. Twisted Metal Season 2, same thing with Wednesday. If you haven't seen Season 1, why are you here talking to me about Season 2? Go watch Season 1. It's amazing. And I wanted to bring these two together. Predators, Badlands, and we actually got an Aliens trailer. It was really just kind of like the whole embryo thing growing and everything, and then it pops out. So we don't really know what it is yet. But it was a new trailer. So I think it's pretty cool getting a Predators movie and an Aliens movie coming together. We might get an Aliens versus Predator again at some
So,
point.
with that, did you see the Easter egg in the Predator trailer?
I did not. What was the
In
Easter egg?
what's the company that there's a company that's in Aliens that's like big. I think it's like the Wayland company, and there is a container that has the Wayland company's logo on it in the back of the Predator trailer, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's connected! They're going to come out with it." I feel like with all the stuff that we've gotten with Predator, and we just last year had an Aliens movie, I feel like there have to come to an Alien versus Predator again soon. There's been too many movies where it's like leading over, like, oh, everyone's like standing on both sides, watching each other. There has to be another one coming soon.
It has to, bro. Because the first one, amazing. The second one, yeah, but the first one, amazing. Second
Amazing.
one, but the only thing I didn't like about the Aliens trailer, and this pisses me off all the time, is like when the alien was born and the computer said, "Oh, new species." No, it's not a new species. You guys have all these spaceships, and you're telling me nobody's been like, "Yo, let me send this off," or something survived, and people have been like, "Look at this." No, you're telling me the Predators are the only ones that throughout this whole galaxy is like, bruh. When we see these aliens, make sure you just go ahead and set off that atomic bomb. We killing the whole planet. So all these movies we got that set up in futuristic. We ain't got nobody that's been like, yo, these aliens that keep showing up. They got asked for no. They're just a new species every time. No, that's like the only thing that's making me so mad about these alien movies. It's how do we not know what these things like? How are they always new species? Now I do give Romulus this one because like it was an alien human hybrid at the end, so it's like, all right, cool, we ain't seen that. But no, in the trailer, it just kind of looked like a regular alien face hugger thing that was born. They said new species. No, we gotta fix that. I'm sorry, we do. But moving on, because I'm taking a lot of time. Last thing I'm gonna bring up. You can't see me, John Cena. I know he's turned heel, but he's still working in Hollywood. And my guy, Idris Elba, right now, is playing in Head of State. Looks like it's gonna be a fun. Go ahead.
Heads of State, because there is a movie called Head of State with Chris Rock in it from 2003 that I thought was going to be connected, but they're not connected. All right, continue.
But yeah, Heads of State. It's just like it's going to be a fun, adventurous, funny movie because John Cena plays the president and Idris Elba, he's the prime minister, right? Isn't it? Yeah. So they basically just gotta survive because somebody tried to kill them when they were the same plane. And they got my girl from, I can't even remember her name right now, but she played in this crime TV show on The Spy. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there
You're
because
talking
she's so
about
gorgeous.
Priyanka
Oh my
Chopra.
gosh. Yeah. Doesn't she marry a Jonas brother?
I don't know. Yeah, she's married to Nick Jonas.
Yeah. He's a very lucky man. That's all I gotta say. To you,
That's
Cody,
cool.
what you got for news?
All right. So I did have both the Predator movie and Heads of State on my list as well. But did you see the? It was a kind of like a tweet of Garrett Dillahunt. He's an actor, and he tweeted a picture of him dressed like Oliver Queen, and he says "Ali Ali Oxenfree" in it. But everybody's going crazy over it. Me, being my little detective self, had a deep dive on it because everybody was going like, "Oh, I would love to have him as Oliver Queen." Who knows? Maybe James Gunn is lying to our face, but he did deny that he was going to be Oliver Queen because he's already casted for the Lantern TV show as William Macon, who is supposedly supposed to become William Hand, which then becomes Black Hand in the Lantern show. So we'll see. But the picture did look pretty good of him as Oliver Queen. I'll put it right here so you guys can see it. But I was like, man, that was kind of nice. We'll see. Secondly, I got two games coming out soon. Ghost of Yotei, the successor to Ghost of Tsushima, finally dropped their release trailer, and it comes out October 2nd. Some people are excited, some people are not. I'm excited for it. Ghost of Tsushima was probably, in terms of like, I think Last of Us is my favorite game. Ghost of Tsushima is probably my second favorite game, which is how beautiful it is. It's a very long game, and it, because of how open it is, I was like, man, I was doing so many side quests trying to get all of the shrines and everything, and by the end of it, I was like, I just need to finish. But the finishing everything, all the stories, very beautiful. Ghost of Yotei, hopefully it lives up to its predecessor. Second game is Marvel Cosmic Invasion, coming in 2025. It didn't have a significant date, like a solid date release, but it's supposed to be coming out. It's kind of a 2D game, like one of those old fashioned 2D games where they're like doing a bunch of hack and slash. Kind of reminds me of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game they just re-released recently. But it comes out as, I think, 15 different playable characters, including Wolverine, Spider Man, Captain America, and so forth. Yeah, it's coming out soon. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 has been announced for March of 2026. So
Damn.
it is on its way out. We do have to wait a little bit for it to come out, but we got some other things. We got Thunderbolts coming to you guys next week review. But yeah, we got Daredevil. Also, in concerns of Thunderbolts, everybody's like, Kingpin just became mayor and he's not doing shit about all the things about to happen in New York during Thunderbolts. Apparently, Daredevil takes place before, I think like a year before Thunderbolts takes place. So we have a lot of buffer time for season 2 to happen before that. What's up?
I do want to say, for all the people who are saying Thunderbolts can take on whoever this villain is, cannot say that freaking Anthony Mackie's Captain America can't take on freaking Red Hulk. You're saying
I
you're
agree.
saying these guys can take on whoever this villain is, but then saying Anthony Mackie can't take on Red Hulk. Your priorities. I feel like they can take this guy on. I also felt
Yeah.
like Anthony Mackie can take on Red Hulk. But yeah,
I
that's all I
think
wanted to say about that.
it might be like and we'll give a more in-depth review after we watch this movie this weekend, but I think it's because of his
Hold
powers.
up.
Sorry about that, guys, a little bit of technical difficulties, but as I was saying, I believe the only reason they keep saying that is because the villain, for which I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, internet, I thought it was supposed to be Sentry's supposed to be in this Thunderbolts series, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But the guy's like power is like he creates this black fog that turns everybody into a fucking, banishes them to the shadow realm.
Yeah.
I think that's like, how are these people without physical or without like powers supposed to take on something that's more like a meta ability where he's like, oh, you can't fight fire with fist, in a sense, where the Hulk is just big hands and Anthony Mackie is like vibranium protected. But I agree, level wise, if you think Captain America can't take on Red Hulk, Thunderbolts as characters should not be able to take on the bad guy from Thunderbolts. But power wise, I can kind of see like tactile versus metagene kind of power might be like the argument. Like, why can't you, how can you defeat what you can't hit, basically?
Right.
So
I see what you're saying.
we'll see. I'm excited for it because I was thinking about that during the trailer. All right, and after Thunderbolts, we got The Life of Chuck. Life of Chuck is a Stephen King small short novel, and it is going to be directed by Mike Flanagan, who is known as a horror movie director. So this movie, from the trailer, did not seem like a horror movie whatsoever. And it's supposed to be about the simple life of this man, the life of Chuck, Tom Hiddleston, Loki, and it has a really good cast in it. It has Mark Hamill in it, has Matthew Lillard in it, has Tom Hiddleston, has Nick Offerman as the narrator, has a guy, I'm going to butcher this name, Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Mordo from Doctor Strange in it. It has Karen Gillian, who plays Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy in it. So a lot of Marvel actors.
And the 13th Doctor's companion, okay?
And the 13th Doctor's companion. And yeah, it just has a very packed cast in it. Does not seem like a horror movie whatsoever. But Stephen King wrote it. And Mike Flanagan is the director for it. So if you go watch it expecting a very nice movie, be prepared. They might make you shit yourself when you're least expecting it. I don't know. After The Life of Chuck, Don to Don, it's season 2, has released this trailer. I actually am a little pissed off about the trailer. Mac's not a fan of
That's an outside the box thing.
That's
an
yeah.
outside the box.
But Don to Don season 1 ended on a very weird note where it's like biggest cliffhanger. I thought we were going to get another episode the week after. Never got it. It starts, the trailer basically spoils everything that you might think is happening in season 2, where like I'm not going to spoil it. You don't have to go watch the trailer. Just know it's coming out July 3rd, and it will pick up right where it left off. I'm looking forward to it still, even with the spoilers. But yeah, Denadon season 2 is coming out. I think honestly, that's all I have for my news.
Wait,
Mac, you got anything else?
I forgot one thing on my news. And it's also a horror movie. I don't know if you guys remember the old movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, but they're making another one, and it's kind of like the Scream movies, to where it's like a continuation of the old one. It looked pretty good. It brings back Freddie Prinze Jr. and it brings back Jennifer Love Hewitt. They're both in it. The trailer looked good. I'm probably still going to go watch it. I don't know if I'm going to go watch it alone. I'm not that dumb. I don't do that anymore. I might bootleg it. I went to go watch 3 horror movies by myself. Not doing that again. That made the experience by itself scary. Movies weren't scary alone, but it was still scary. You're like, that dark moved over there. So I'm probably not going to go watch it by myself.
Someone sits behind you. You're like, why are you sitting behind me?
Right, exactly. But, I mean, go watch the trailer. I think it looks pretty good. I do like how they're doing the whole Scream thing. I think Halloween did it first, so I'm not going to lie.
What's it called whenever they do that? It's not a sequel. It's like a requel or something like that.
Yeah. I think, that's what the girl said. It's a requel. And the actual, like, Scream 5 movie, I think they call it a requel. Yeah. And then if there's a third one, then it'll be like a franchise or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be good. I like how they're going with that, with the whole Scream thing. Like, it's not revamping it or making another one. It's just kind of like a continuation with a more modern take and more modern cast.
Yeah,
so I think.
And Final Destination is doing the same thing, where it connects from the last one. And I feel like they truly did it first, where they're like, everything's kind of connected, but not fully connected, but it continues on the spirit of the movie. But
I mean, the last one connected all of it pretty well.
Oh, connected all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But the first three
man,
were kind of like you could
Yeah.
see all of them without seeing any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
that's all I got. That's all I got, though. That's all I got.
And next week for box battles, this week we did what deserves a sequel, what deserves a continuation. Next week we're doing what deserves a remake, something that you had high hopes for that really disappointed for you. I got a couple on my mind already. So we're gonna do an anime, a TV show, and a movie on what we think deserves a second chance, but nothing like the first time. But other
Fuck
than
the
that,
John Wick movies. You go ahead and redo those. Those movies are amazing. That franchise is amazing. That world is
it is
amazing.
amazing. Mac didn't mean it. He's trolling.
Or did I?
All right. Other than that, I got nothing else for you guys. Just make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming out, watching, listening to us. Until next time, deuces.